will pretty much put them in a position to rely on that final game of Anubis. But obviously we'll see whether or not that happens. Ankara, ready and waiting for us in a minute here, is a pretty important one for ranking.
Yeah, very important map for them. It could ultimately decide their tournament life at this point, considering they need a map win at some point to even contend for that wild card position. And if they could maybe find one here against XROCK, maybe that gets them a better chance of getting that wild card slot to go their way if they can tackle Anubis as well. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, the game is starting up right now as we speak, so potential last stand here for Ranking Esports, or will XROCK be able to put a stop to any of that? They move on to their map pick of Ankara, and let's see how it goes as we do hop onto it right now.
Opening going to be a bit of a heavy utility stack towards A long, getting prepared from Ranking. Maybe they're going to go back to that aggressive approach, but this time XROCK, they are fully prepared with the double OM setup on A long and Ranking. They just had no response here. It's already 3 players down and out. Fotcon and Nevis, they want nothing to do with this now.
I was really ready to make some silly noises there if those shots kept connecting, but they didn't.
We were ready.
We were trying our best, but well, what a way to start the map for XROCK. You're straight back into it, I guess, if you're Ranking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is just that is the face of resignation, isn't it? He's like, well, here we go again.
Yeah, it's definitely a way to set the tone. You come out, you smack them real early, and you say, okay, we are going to be the guys in control of this map, and they might just do it again. I mean, this is not too uncommon, especially on this map, but the manner in which they did it was pretty striking, I could say. And Ranking are going to just hold up here outside of quarters and just wait potentially for somebody to go for a peek. But it's not happening. They take a more passive angle. He's not quite going to hit the shot this time. And GA will have to back away for now.
Again, a lot of presence towards A long here for Ranking. This time, not quite as aggressive on the XROCK side of things, but there hasn't been too many connections. Almost an early pick there for Ranking, actually. Both players going to back off of that one. Now Ranking, they've got some solid mid-control to work with. I'm interested to see if they're going to push all the way through here, though, because there is a nice little trap set up from XROCK towards this B bomb site.
Gia just trying to watch through that smoke to see if he can pick anything up happening in mid. As of yet, no progression from Ranking. Bit of a slower affair, this one. 5 players still alive with 1:15 left on the clock. Sunny's going to go hunting for some information. And his timing will be critical here. If he gets it wrong and goes a little too early, that could end up being a freebie for Ranking. But they might actually head in his direction and to see whether he can double down here or even just get one. If he even just gets one from this position, it is going to be problems for Ranking. Won't happen though, as KT15 takes his head off, and now it's on to Lee, who's got to cover multiple angles and try to buy time for that rotate. But then again, Ranking have other ideas, and they're going to go back toward A, so difficult team to play against this squad from Vietnam.
Maybe the right call, though. There's no one actually on the A bomb site here for XROCK. 30 seconds on the clock, and you still have Humio here as well, who can quickly play the role of the backstab. Nevis gets 2 before going down. They've got a 4v2 to work with. Lee and Yang now have to try and find a way to pick up the pieces as this bomb gets planted on the A bomb site, but they still have Humio to deal with here, and now it's all on to Yang, who is somehow still alive and kicking here in the GR spawn. Finds himself another kill, surely not in the clutch. Ice Cube, he's got the angle to hold on here, but Yang, he's going to go for the wide swing, misses the shots though. Ice Cube going to be very thankful he was able to hang on there.
So Yang, he said, okay, my limit is 6 kills in 2 rounds. And he did a lot for the team. I think that was a good round, actually, from the side of Ranking Esports. As you can see, a lot of Yang there in a row. And, yeah, Ranking did a pretty good job just to play with the hearts and the minds of XROCK to just continue rotating and get onto A pretty much for free. And then have Humio on the flank. That's like the good version of what we've seen them do a couple times so far.
I like like the change up here, though, from XROCK, putting a little bit more attention towards the A-bomb side earlier on. It's only going to be one player left, though, but, I mean, Yang on his own, not necessarily the worst decision here. He knows how to frag out and find those early picks for his team. Ranking, on the other hand, still favoring this mid-control earlier on and kind of just slowly easing into position, trying to call out these players as they go. But this 4-player B stack, I'm not sure if it's going to be expected.
No, I dare say you wouldn't be expecting 4 players on the B side at this point in the game. Are they even going to end up over toward B, or is Ranking going to default back toward A? Shot is fired off there by Gia, and now you can see the transition going in the direction of A. Yang just getting a little bit too greedy for his own good to get some util across there. And that's the A site cracked open, so XROCK, tough ask now for the retake. 5-on-4, but it's brought back to at least 4-on-4, courtesy of Chow.
Yeah, but bomb planted here, it's really the onus onto XROCK to try to get in quickly. And with a lot of members still available on both sides, it could get pretty dirty here as Sunny is going to get that pick off on the back side. Or actually just straight through the front door. They are going to look to move in right now as the flashes come out, but Humio is able to hold it down. This entry from Chow is good. He picks up 2, and they isolate the last guy, and they have enough time to get the defuse.
Plenty of time, in fact, actually. That was a super clean retake from XROCK. Ranking will be disappointed to lose that round. They had the 5-on-4 advantage. They had the site, and they had the plan so quickly as well. But XROCK just once again showing their prowess.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing here, especially on these retakes. But Chow in this round, beautiful triple kill to make sure they could get it done. But Ranking, again, it seems like, especially in post-plant situations, they're just not sure how to set up off of each other properly. There's not a whole lot of trade potential in some of these angles that they're playing, and they almost allow their opponents to win these retakes even when they don't have the numbers against them.
Are we sure his name is Chow, or is it meant to be Chad? Because that was pretty Chad. He just walks in off, and he's dropping heads.
Yeah,
it's all good. Ranking can run it back, see if they can make something happen over toward the B side. This time it's very much going to be a commitment toward B if they're going to go through the tunnels. That nade, perfectly timed.
Yeah, might even delay this push a little bit as they consider their options, but it's definitely coming through. Humio, very nice entry kill. Lee in position as the flash comes over, and then he goes for the peek. It's perfectly executed as they come in from 3 different angles. And they shut this down with flying colors. Fakon, the only one left available. He is going to pick up 2 kills. Can he get any more? He's got a lot on his shoulders if he wants to push into the 2 of them. That should probably peak him at the same time. Some time here, but can he get the C4 and potentially clutch the round?
Well, the problem is he's going to be forced in the direction of that C4, and obviously XROCK knows that, so they're just going to set up and actually get behind him as well. And what a beautiful round that was from XROCK. I love that you highlighted the flash as well, because it was perfect. There was like 4 players that were just caught blind, and perfect timing on the swing as well. So XROCK, fundamentals definitely in play for them. Ranking at the moment unable to deal with it. 3-1 scoreline. Starting to head in the same direction as what we saw in the early stages of Black Widow.
Yeah, now going back to their opening strategy here of putting a lot of that pressure towards A, just leaving Fakon on the lurk as usual, this time in mid to try and make it happen. Yang holding on to the lower A bomb side here, playing for the vent peak. He might actually go for the full commit here if he doesn't sense the push coming through just yet. But Lee gonna go down in mid. And again, Fakon, he's finding these openings in mid to work with, but now they have to find a way to capitalize. He's already found a second as well. And finally, the shutdown comes through. Yang still holding on to the vent. Going to be good for one. Chow comes in as well to drop the bomb carrier. Humio is low, but somehow they're both still alive in this situation. Maybe not for long. Sunny already finds one. Make it a double kill to get it done.
You don't even have to get that aggressive on the swings, but I really like how the second they know they're going to check the vent, somebody's on top, peeking down on them and getting an extra kill and trading it back. Like the timing on when they're actually looking for the shots. It's not just random. It's not just, okay, we're going to outplay this guy. It's very calculated on the side of XROCK, and I feel like they've really reached and hit their stride here on the second map.
100%. They're looking very well coordinated and even quite threatening in numbers disadvantage situations, so that's got to be scary for ranking. Yang's going to go and push forward as well. Love that from him. Lots of info being gathered here for XROCK, and a pick as well. If it doesn't go from bad to worse for ranking, then I don't even know what to call this. It's like out of the frying pan into the fire, really. You're down 4-1. Now it's 4v5. Gia, wow, we'll take the peek onto KT15 as well. Picks up the AK, knows there's players headed in his direction. He's calling for some assistance and will get it from Chow. Oh, like I said, it goes from bad to worse really for ranking, doesn't it? Like, these rounds are getting more and more and more one-sided as we progress through Ankara. And that is making life very difficult for ranking. 1 on 4 for Nevis. Surely not possible. This XROCK team is a little bit too well drilled to allow that to happen. Well,
yeah. That'll be it there. I mean, 5-1. It looked like it could be close after how that first map ended, but it's certainly not here on map number 2. A lot of it just comes down to, I feel like the utility difference between these two teams is very severe. Ranking, they go shot for shot pretty equally, but I feel like they don't utilize their utility, especially the flashes on the peaks, near as well as these Chinese teams do.
It's a big part of the game. You got to be able to do that pretty well. Falcon is going to take out Sunny. And I do have to mention that pretty much everybody on the side of XROCK is holding their weight as well.
Yeah.
You know, Chow's had big moments. Sunny's had big moments. Yang has had a lot of moments early on, especially. And it's just been a team effort here as GA. Now he's got an AK in the enemy spawn. Like, what?
Well, he's going to be taken down, but
yeah.
Still causing a bit of panic for ranking for a moment there. And I think you guys are right when you're talking about, you know, ranking just not quite doing it as well fundamentally as what XROCK are. Like, end of the day, everyone at this level is going to be able to shoot players in the head. Perfect example, Falcon there. But where the difference is going to be made is that teamwork, that strategy, the flashes, the util usage. And generally speaking, that's where the Chinese teams go one better. Yang not going to be able to clutch this one out. So second round on the board for ranking, but not really much of a cause for celebration just yet.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do to bring it back. Even 4 rounds here, though, doesn't seem like it's going to be enough on the half. Just knowing on the GR side, it has been a bit of a struggle for ranking to get things going their way. But XROCK, on the other hand, they can't afford to get overconfident and start making mistakes here. But I really like their play style here. It almost seems like they bait into counter flashes really well a lot of the time on this GR side of the map, and I'd love to see more of that. It works really well, especially on this B bomb side. But it is going to be ranking, this time not going in aggressively, going for the fake, but the problem here is after the fake, they kind of turtle up, and now they have pretty much no map presence to work with, and they don't seem too sure where they want to go next.
Yeah, that's where the leadership has to kick in. They need a good plan afterwards. Can't just be random. Speaking of plans, Lee runs into 5 people. Maybe didn't expect them all to be there and looking down mid. As Yumio picks up 2 kills on that play. It wasn't just Lee at the end of it, I suppose, but that definitely helps ranking, just to have the enemy just run straight at them. And they're just sitting here as well, and the guys on XROCK are one by one peeking into them.
Yeah, a bit of a miscellaneous peek there from Yang. I get the idea. Again, you're down on numbers. You want to try to go for info. You want to make a play and bring it back to like maybe a 4-on-3, which feels a little bit more winnable, but that one definitely ill-fated, ill-timed. Still got a bunch of members of ranking watching mid. So his push doesn't work out, which leaves Mr. Chow and G with a lot of work to do. Ranking have been very patient about it, though.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, abnormal.
Now we are going to see the 2v5 play out. Actually, both players playing alone, one on each side, to try and just hold on for dear life, I suppose. Chow, though, has a chance to find one. Gets the ladder pick onto Fotcon. But here comes the rest of ranking onto the B-bomb site right behind him. Humio gets the spot check there. I believe they know Chow is there, but Chow good for a second. Surely not more than that at this point. The trade finally comes through a little bit late from Nevis. And now it's down to the 1-on-3.
Yeah, Gia going to disregard the Orm in favor of the M4A1 for this attempt at the clutch. A 1-on-3, always going to be a tough one, particularly with all that util headed in his direction. Completely flashed out, and so time to go back to the Orm. Won't work out. 5-3. One more round left in the half, and ranking, look, if they could make it back to 5-4, I give them a lot of credit for that, because this half was not looking good at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got that one round that was pretty clean. Then this one happened. This one, definitely a bit of a confusing one. XROCK trying to retake Central Passageway, and there were just 5 members of ranking looking straight at them. So one by one, the dominoes fell. And then all of a sudden, you know, XROCK tried their best with 2 guys, but it's not enough. And ranking are able to pretty simply stroll on to a second round win. So 5-1 was dire. 5-3 is pretty good at this point in time for ranking to potentially make a comeback.
Yeah, the downside here still being this is a blacklist-sided map, so even 4 rounds might not be enough to guarantee them a lot of success in that second half, but XROCK, they could still find another here if they find a way to get a little bit more assertive, I think, in how they control this mid side of the map. They're giving ranking a lot of forward room to work with and almost allowing them to get too much decision in their favor on how they want to execute rather than having a little bit more forward presence on this map to work with. But again, it is a 4-man stack on the B bomb site, so maybe that helps them if this push comes through. But you can see ranking, they're doing a good job of grabbing that information, and now they could potentially double back here into the A connector.
They head up to the top there for ranking. Gia just chilling behind the box.
See if he takes a look.
I mean, look at this position. There's no way you expect him here. It's all a case of timing.
He's like, oh, okay, they're all here, actually. He got the 1 kill, and he kept peeking, which I think is kind of the mistake there. Should have probably bought some time for his team to get over on time. Now they are kind of in position, but smokes are up. Bomb is not down as they charge onto the top of A here. XROCK will take it over. They take down Fakon, and Nevis got a nice angle up the stairs, but it's just not going to be enough as they just sweep them on top of that one.
Thought it was the drop shot coming through with the pistol, but it wasn't. Someone else got the kill with the rifle. Yeah, interesting from Gia to continue taking the peek. I almost wanted him to maybe get the info, wait a little bit, and see if maybe there was an angle to get to after having his teammates just sort of start to rotate across as well and then giving away his position. But, I mean, he wanted to go for glory, and I suppose if you back yourself, which he certainly should be at this point, he's been playing very well tonight, and he's going to go for it. So, fair enough, but didn't quite work out. Still, XROCK won the round, and they're going to go very quick toward A, which is pretty standard in the first round of the half. Hyomio trying to defend will have no contest there at all for him, and it comes down to the trades. Nevis under pressure, also going to be brought down, and that's the A site broken open for XROCK.
Yeah, and now it's going to be a really tough retake. You can see here Fakon trying to work his way on the long flank, but they've already got a couple players posted and ready to go here for this flank opportunity as well. It's going to be on to KT15 and Ice Cube to really break through here, but there's just a wall of players waiting for them on that GR spawn wall. Ice Cube, he's still alive here, but that wall of smoke makes it almost impossible to get back in.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one, no doubt. Some spam up there from Fakon, but nice angle taken from Sunny. Just aggressively trying to peek him, and he gets the jump. And now Fakon, definitely a big ask for him to try to charge into A by himself. So that's just 7-3. And the Blacklist side looking very strong here so far for XROCK. They get that first round, and maybe they just run away with this one unless we see a big resurgence like we saw from ranking last time. But different sides, different map, different situation. It's already 1-0. The pressure is on, and XROCK, you can feel that they can taste it. They can taste this 2-0.
Yeah, ranking's going to have to do again what they were able to do on Black Widow and bring this one back a little bit closer and then potentially even go one better, but don't know if they're going to be given that opportunity. Gia is hitting everything with the Orm in this game, and Lee and Chow are also striking in this round. Oh, absolute decisiveness from XROCK as they charge their way through mid. And they even win fights on the other side of the map as well. Like Chow's holding outside of A, getting kills over there as well. So it's just losses in every single skirmish for ranking, and that, of course, is not a way to put around together.
Yeah, Humio, it's a 1 versus 5, and Chow is just out here playing with him at this point. It's going to be another round here for XROCK, 2 away from taking this match in a 2-0 sweep for their CFS debut as a team. So definitely looking a lot better, I would say, though, on the second map. I wasn't so sure how this was going to play out, especially after they had a lot of struggles in crossing that finish line on Black Widow, but this is definitely an XROCK that I think is looking a lot more competitive when we talk about, you know, their potential amongst those top 4 teams.
Yeah, certainly. Let's see how this one is going to end up. 8-3. We were in this situation before as Lee.
Wow. GG. Bad luck, Lee.
Yeah, unfortunate.
That was the holy hand grenade. Landed on his head and it was just like, see ya, mate.
We'll just have to see what happens from here. But yeah, pushing out here is Ranking. They do get that extra kill onto Chow. Follow up here onto Yang. Can they pick him off? The answer is no. They do get Sunny. But yeah, just charging him down after that initial one and looking for the extra. Yang left alone. Pretty done deal from there, 8-4.
Yeah, I guess you just disregard that one, honestly, as XROCK. It's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things. They've still got a lot of rounds to play with here. Sometimes things don't go your way. But the start of a very long road ahead for Ranking.
Yeah, I'd love to just see maybe a bit more aggression on the GR side here from Ranking, maybe going for a full A long control play. I know it can be pretty strong for them if they're willing to do it, but the problem they've got here is the XROCK firepower difference so far in this matchup. Every time they take the aim duels early on, they've struggled quite a bit to come out on top, but this time it is going to be a quick fake into mid, now doubling back their entire team on towards this A bomb side. KT-15, he has to come up huge here in this vent position. If he goes down too quickly, it could be a tough fate ahead, but he doesn't even stand a chance there. Now there's only one player defending this A bomb side. Ice Cube able to find himself one, gets away behind the smoke, but still, XROCK have the site.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward from there. Also, Ice Cube gonna get caught back as Gia just trying to get ahead of this rotation that's coming in. And you see Chow is also right there to try to defend him. And kind of unfortunate timing, but yeah, Gia is still getting so much value. He's essentially 1v4 this time. He's going to get a third. Can he pick up a fourth?
No.
No.
Don't go for the 1v1 there.
Why
That's
do they have to
exactly
do
why.
this?
You don't go for the 1v1. There's no need to peek. XROCK, it was their round. It was their round all over. And then they just gave him like 3 1v1s. And like I said, these Ranking guys, they're sharp as nails. They're going to hit the shots when they get given them. Oh well. XROCK, back to square one. Run it back. 8-5 scoreline's not too bad. Don't worry about it, lads. That's what you got to be saying in the server. But if you're on the casting desk, you get to go, Anyway.
Yeah, very unfortunate round there, but at the same time, it gives Ranking at least a fighting chance to maybe pull themselves back into this map. We saw them, though, on the last one have a few rounds. They strung together with some big plays, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen this time around. It is going to be a nice 2-for-1 in favor of XROCK outside the A bomb side, but look at this. Ice Cube and KT-15, they're locking it down, but Sunny, they still have to deal with him. He's got 1 HP finally taken down there, but Ice Cube and KT-15, they get it done. Ranking finds another.
Yeah, great pinch from Ranking. You could kind of see it coming together, couldn't you? There was a couple playing in that A connector. They were ready to go. This is the clutch from Humio. Look at the 1v1s that he gets there. He gets 3 1v1s in a row.
And they have the bomb planted.
And that is not good for XROCK. They really should not allow that to happen. So a little bit of a mistake, and it is a bit of a mishap that is going to give them a little bit of a stumble again here. It's kind of the same story as what we saw on Black Widow. XROCK out in front, looking like they're going to dominate the map and clean it up very quickly, but maybe they have this little bit of a 8-round curse maybe as well. Like we've been talking about that for Ranking, but what about for XROCK? They are struggling as soon as they get to 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, once again, ahead of the curve, trying to come in from many different angles, and this aggression is once again paying off big time for the side of Ranking. They have made it 8-7 so quickly. Started out as 1 round, and you're like, all right, that's whatever. Second round comes in, it's pretty devastating. And now, all of a sudden, they are off to the races.
it's the ripple effect or the butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it, right? That one little moment that is the catalyst for something greater. And that one round for ranking is exactly what it was. Those few 1v1s that XROCK kind of give up to Humio. They're getting a bit of ahead of themselves. They're thinking this game is already over. And then things like this start to happen. And you're wondering, hang on a minute. Is there another map alive in this series potentially? Because ranking are certainly gunning for it.
It is possible, but it wouldn't surprise me to see attack pause come out if XROCK goes down in this round. They've already lost 4 in a row. A 5th would be kind of absurd at this point, considering how well they looked up until that point.
Yeah.
Ranking, though, the rotations are starting to come towards this A bomb site. They were expecting a B fake into an A hit, but we can see here, XROCK, they're slowly grouping back up in spawn here. Could potentially actually go for the B execution later on in this round, but don't have full utility to work with now, and Ice Cube and Fotcons are still kind of ready in action over there.
Timing was definitely on offer there, though, for XROCK. When they were in mid, there was only one player toward the B side of the map. Everyone else had gone over toward A. I thought they were faking A with that smoke, but they didn't end up going to B. If they would have just busted out through mid into B, take a 3-on-1 or something like that, they surely get in. Now, though, job's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially given Chow has dropped as well. So someone from XROCK's going to have to step up in a big way if they're to make this one work. Util will be tossed in the direction of ranking, but 5-on-3 for the take. Not an easy task for XROCK, and they're even going to try and gamble the plant early. Don't necessarily mind that. It will force the pace from ranking, but Lee somehow still alive. How does he get away with 2 there? I don't know. Won't matter, though. And 8 apiece is the scoreline. Ranking Esports are not going down without a fight.
Yeah, this is 5 in a row now. Ranking, they have looked so much better. They have controlled a lot of these rounds. They have been controlling the pace of, how they're taking these fights. The second Humio got that clutch, everything changed, and you can tell that they are just oozing with confidence. I don't see any pause coming through, and XROCK are running out of time. This looks like rankings to win from here on out. It's 8-8, but doesn't feel that way with 5 in a row going towards the side of GR, as now they're trying to rush on in our XROCK, but again, just very over-aggressive plays. They are not hitting their shots. The C4 is, okay, it's going to be picked up, and Lee is just getting in there, reloading while flashed in the spawn, and GA is going to go down after only getting 1. Chow up against 3, up against the wall is him and his team. I don't see this happening.
I'm sorry, but XROCK have lost the plot in that round. I mean, look, they were forced into an awkward spot, sure. A little bit of a pump into mid from ranking, but the C4 sending it solo all the way into the global risk spawn. I mean, that's unrecoverable. And I wonder if the map's now unrecoverable for them, because ranking they've hit another level. Then again, pressure's back on now for ranking, right? So do they crumble under that? Do they just give up this one round to XROCK and then boom, we're back into the OT and XROCK's like, all right, we were supposed to win this map. Don't squander this opportunity if you're ranking Esports.
Yeah, I really hope they can finally bring a map to a close here. They've had so many close calls, but XROCK, they are not ready to give this one up without a fight. They want this to go all the way into overtime so they can reclaim the second map of the series. But right now, we do see ranking still trying to grab that info in mid. They've got 2 players sitting outside of the A connector trying to find that counter pick to answer back, but positionally, it's just such a hard map to cover when you're a man down. The rotations on this map are very, very slow.
Yeah, they definitely are. I like that XROCK. They're not jumping out of their, out of their boots to get into a site just yet. They're playing with the clock a little bit. They get the pick, and they're just waiting to see. They need to get some kind of information, but they want to make sure nobody's peeking first and that they can deny information potentially this way, and then group up and look for a solid execution onto one of the sites. Now, ranking have just, turtled up 2 guys on each site and hope that they can get some kind of big defense, some big play from their members, because the rotations, as you mentioned, it's going to take a while to get over and support.
Yeah, 2-2 split is a rough one in this position. Obviously, it's a 5-on-2 for the take, and XROCK you'd think should be good enough to trade that down effectively. And, you know, maybe worst case scenario, it'll be like a 2-2 post plan, which would favor them. But even then, it's actually going to look a little better than that. Nevis goes down as well. So 5-on-2 post plan. XROCK, they are not going to make a mistake in this round. And I dare say we're headed toward the OT. Chow cleans up one more rotator in mid. And Hyomio, he was the catalyst for the success of Ranking. Started this big comeback with the huge 1-on-3 clutch. But hey, a 1-on-5 is a different task. And so XROCK will secure the overtime.
It's just such a difficult position. It seems every time Ranking, they're just right in front of the finish line, and then they just fall over and can't make it happen. But I really want to see these guys close out a map at some point.
They fall over, but they don't fall over the finish line. That's the unfortunate thing, isn't it? Like
they fall backwards.
They're so close, but yeah, like their knees give out and they just fall backwards or something. Like they're playing QWOP.
Nah, QWOP. Oh, man. Well, this is very interesting. You can see on the faces of XROCK that they were not pleased, but at least they made it to overtime. Yeah. They like stumbled across the finish line, I suppose, although nobody has really gotten across any kind of line at this point. Definitely, you know, unfortunate for them that they gave over 6 rounds in a row, but at least they get a second chance to end it with this one. They don't have to wait until a third map to get a little funky with it towards the end. And so let's see where it goes from here. Ranking Esports back onto the Blacklist side. And this, I feel like, has been the better side for them. Let's see what they can get going. Although I guess not on this map.
Yeah, I was going to say not quite so much on this one, but I do like the approach here from Ranking, going for that A connector pressure as a team. But there is a 3-player stack ready to go from XROCK to try and hold this off. And if they go through here, it's actually pushing through the smoke screen, which can be kind of a big risk in this type of situation that I don't think they should really take here. But KT15, he's eyeballing this challenge. Yang, is he going to be ready? Not really. He goes down without much of a fight. So does Chow here. Sunny has to try and make something happen before this bomb goes down, but that utility forces him out of position. And Ranking, they've done a great job of grabbing this control.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by that, actually, because I thought XROCK was making a good push out on the B side of the map and getting info that there was nothing happening over there, but they even rotated the extra player off of A into mid, which obviously didn't help, although the entries hit by Ranking were clean enough that you have to wonder whether it would have made a difference anyway. Now for the retake attempt, and it has not started well for XROCK. Sunny Xia going down, Yang in the 1-on-5, and he's got no time really to work with here anyway. But first round of the OT does go the way of Ranking. They would be wondering, why couldn't we just get that done in the previous round?
Yeah, a little bit of regret, I suppose, but at least they're here in the first place. They make it to the OT. They take the first round. And you got to like their chances. They took 6 in a row, and now they've got 7 out of the last 8. And they should be looking with that kind of play. If they can continue with this on the Blacklist side, I wouldn't consider them the underdogs at all in this one. Let's see how far they can take it, as Lee's got a very cheeky spot here in the corner. Kind of reading the pressure. Not sure how, but expecting it as a grenade kill is going to be the first one. KT15 to go down. Ice Cube does trade it back on the Sunny, and now they will just abandon ship after Nevis takes a little bit of extra damage. Ice Cube as well getting, well, actually Falcon is the one that got tagged up there by GA, and so that will be advantage to XROCK.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth here, but again, XROCK putting way more attention onto this B side of the map. They've got no defenders now on the A bomb side, so even though it's a 3-on-4 Ranking, they could kind of just waltz in here, plant this bomb, and set up for the post plant, where they have been pretty good on this A side of the map. Meanwhile, XROCK, they're trying to push out for information. They're starting to rotate, but it does seem a little bit too slow.
Worst case scenario, though, it'll be a 4-on-3 retake for XROCK, so they're probably backing themselves in that respect. Yeah, cleared out the B site. They know definitely that it is going to be the A play that they're going to have to go for. So 3 in through from main.
They've got a lot of utility here as well. Some frags over the top, potential to retake this. 3 through the front, 1. GA trying to come in through the fence angle. That shot is going to be huge from Chow. They are running out of time. They got to get in. Chow picks up 2. Can he get 3? No, he can't, but they get the info, and they clean him up on the follow-up swing. And XROCK, they barely get across the line. It is good enough for another round win to tie it up again.
Yeah, really intense match here. Now 1 round left in this first of overtime, and I'm still unsure of who really looks like they're playing this map better. I would have thought at the 8-3, I mean, XROCK, they had everything in their hands to just close it out, but ever since then, it seemed like a pretty much neutral territory for these two teams. So I'm curious to see what changes we might see on the side of XROCK, but I like this call. The full aggressive play, it worked at the start of regulation for them, just going guns blazing, and so far, it seems to be the right call again. They get the early pick, they can fall off now, and this is the type of pressure I think they needed to do more so in that second half of regulation.
Yeah, poor old KT15 could not get out of there. He was just getting tagged constantly by the util, unable to escape. Might be the same fate for Gia, though. Gives up his life for free. So straight away, we're back to 4-on-4. Bit of info going over there for Lee. However, mid control certainly has been established for ranking, and Sunny needs to be careful about his positioning as well.
Yeah, I'd say XROCK have to be careful about just essentially just checking into mid. Without really knowing where they are. They could have assumed that they were there, but Gia just kind of hopping through. Oh. But yeah, they do get that pick off, and now big push under B. Lee, at least able to trade 1 as ranking the remnants of their squad trying to push in. Chow, he's able to get that big flick to actually defend himself just barely. You can see that shot hitting the side of the head to take down Nevis. And now it's Humio, 1v2, and he will go down. Chow will defend his honor and the B site.
I was wondering where we're going to see Humio get another 1-on-3, but not the case this time, and XROCK after the first half of OT will have the advantage. What a sick nade.
Yeah, ranking, it's a tough position to be in. They've got to win 3 in a row if they want to take it. If they win 2, then they're at the risk of the golden round here. If it is a golden round, they would remain on these same sides to close it out. So XROCK, I feel like they do have the advantage being on the blacklist side in this position. It's usually where most teams would want to be if they had to pick a side on this map, and it has looked pretty good for them so far in this overtime. I would love to see a little bit more step up from Fotcon. It felt like in regulation he was a very valuable player for ranking, but now that the pressure is on, he hasn't been quite as present as someone like Humio has been in this matchup. Really consistent throughout on his end, but this is where ranking has to show they can perform under the pressure and close out a map. Otherwise, XROCK, they're going to put up a 2-0.
Yeah, it's a very interesting 4-1 split, isn't it? We'll get to see what Ice Cube can do in this round. He is the sole defender on B. You have to think anything short of at least 2 kills here is not going to be quite enough. And that is definitely not it. Yeah, I mean, a 1-for-1 would have been still a struggle to retake, but this is getting even worse. Holy cow, what a shot from Chow. And Gia cuts off 1 more of the rotate as well. Without a doubt, it is going to be XROCK onto map and series point after this round, because that was a demolition.
Yeah, I mean, the one guy left alone, and they kind of get unlucky with the push coming in quick. They didn't have enough information, and of course it's Ankara, so getting there on time is rough. But then the 2 bonus kills, it's like, okay, well, this is just going to be really rough. GA holds the angle in mid, and it is just clean execution to get them across the line, and on match point. Now here on Ankara, XROCK, they finally wake up again. It took a little nap, you know, it's been a little bit of a long day, that's okay. But at the end of the day, it still does look like, I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like they are the stronger team.
Seems to be. 12-10. Still, we'll see what ranking have got for us, and it's a nice shot to start things off for Ice Cube. So 4-on-5 to negotiate for XROCK if they want to win it in this round. And very little map control established. Nothing really that isn't initially given to them anyway as the attackers.
Yeah, they're playing almost a little bit too safe and unsure of themselves in this round. I'm not a fan of how they're starting it off, not really trying to go for any sort of map control. You can see they're almost trying to rely too much on this on-pick to make it happen, but ranking, they're playing very patient. Aside from Ice Cube, who's kind of trying to hunt down another one in mid, almost goes down in that fight. He's got to be a little bit careful not to give up the advantage they've created for themselves in this round. You can see now XROCK starting to group up for this A attack, but Lee, he's the one trying to stall them out and kind of spoil the party here. He takes down Ice Cube. This is going to force an over-rotation now from ranking of 2 other players who could have helped defend this A bomb site, but now the rest of XROCK has to decide when to make the move.
And now they're moving away from A. They're trying to group up here in mid, it looks like. And they don't 100% know that everything is safe and sound even behind them. GA is alone with a AWM pushing into A, trying to create a ruckus, and he might just get himself into trouble. That he will. And there's nobody else. You see the spray. They expect more, but there's nobody else. This push is coming in a bit slowly from the side of XROCK, but it is good enough. They get the kill onto Nevis, and they will get this plant onto B.
Yeah, just kind of trying to toy with those rotations of ranking, and it has luckily worked out for XROCK. I feel like that's a very high risk, high reward type style, but they do get their reward, and that is going to be a bomb plant down on the B bomb site. Humio, KT15, Fatcom for the retake to save the game here for ranking Esport, and already they've lost 1, another 2, and Yang just gets it done alone. Wow. That is that. It is 13 on the board for XROCK.